Everyone, today we are looking at inverse functions. As we treated composite functions in the last class, but today we are going to be focusing our attention on inverse functions. The inverse function the inverse of f of x is the function that undoes what f has done, and it is denoted by the form f inverse of x. This is what you use to denote the inverse of a function f of x. If the function is f of x, its inverse is denoted as f inverse of x. So if you want to find the inverse, that is how it is done. So if I have a function, let's say this a domain, the x variable, and this is what the y variable, which is the range, and this is the function going here is f of x. If I'm going back, it's going to be what the inverse of f. The inverse of f of x. So it's denoted. So these are we do inverse. So there are some specific identities that we use to denote f of x. Since f of x is the f inverse of x undoes what f has done. So if we have f inverse of x, this is going to be equal to x because the inverse is undoing what the function f has done. Also, we can write f inverse f of x will also be equal to x. So what this specifically means is that whenever you have a function and you find the inverse of the function, it's going to undo what the function has done. Now, if a function is denoted as x comma y, if this is the function f, the inverse is f inverse is going to be what y comma x. What does this mean? It means that there is an interchanging of the positions of the coordinates. Your x becomes your y, while your y becomes your x in the inverse. So that is what we are saying. So here means that the domain of the function, so the domain of f is equal to the range of the inverse. We're also going to look at domain and range. I'm going to do that one in a separate video. Also, the range of the function, the range of f is going to be equal to the domain of the inverse. Domain of the inverse. So this is a separate video on its own. But today I just want to look at how we can find the inverse of functions. So there are certain steps we use to find the inverse of a function. If we have a function f of x, I want to find the inverse. The first thing you need to do is you need to write step 1 is you say let y be equal to what? The function f of x. Then the step 2, you will now swap x and y. So that means that wherever you have x in the function, change it to y, and wherever you have y, change it to x. So the last step, which is the final step, step 3, is to rearrange the formula or make y the sort of the formula. Rearrange the formula to solve for y. So if you have done that, you have automatically gotten the inverse of that function. We are going to explain this using some certain examples. I'm going to take some questions from the CSE textbook. That's the Pemberton textbook. Let's take some few simple case examples to start with. So from there, we can now extend our knowledge to something bigger. Okay, let me say I take questions from example 2. Let's say I take a question from example 2. Let's say A and B. We'll start with that one before we go to more complex examples. So let's say we are told to find the inverse of these two functions. So we have to find the inverse of this function. So let's say for the first one, our f of x is equal to 2x minus 5. we want to find the inverse of this. The first step is that you let y to be equal to f of x. So that means that your y is equal to 2x minus 5. The next step is to swap the positions. So this is going to be change x for y. X will be equal to what? 2y minus 5. The next thing is to solve for y. So this will give you what? Rearrange the formula to make y the subject. So you can take this minus 5 to this position here. So you now have x plus 5 will be equal to 2y. Then you divide both sides by 2. X plus 5 divided by 2 will be equal to y. Once you have been able to make y the subject of the formula, then the inverse of the function f of x will be equal to x plus 5 over 2. So this is the inverse of the function given to us in the question. So the steps are just three basic steps. The first one is to let the function be equal to y. The next step is you swap the variables x and y. And lastly, you make y distribute to the formula. So the same thing happens here. If you say f of x is equal to 3x plus 8, I will say let y be equal to what? 3x plus 8. The next step is to swap. X will be equal to 3y plus 8. Then rearrange the formula for y. So take plus 8 to the other side. Take plus 8 to the other side so that we can solve for y. So that will give me x minus 8 is equal to 3y. So x minus 8 over 3 will be equal to y. So at the end of the inverse of x will be x minus 8 over 3. So this is how we get the inverse function for this particular two function denoted by f of x. So the A inverse, which is f inverse of x, can be written as this for the first one, and the other one is there. So let's look at another type. Let me just check some questions from here as well. Let me take some questions here. Let's say I want to work with questions. Let me work with this question. Yeah, these two. To find the inverse of those functions. All right, so from the same textbook, let me find the inverse of this different function. So you can see that this one is a fractional part. It's a fractional part, so we are going to do it step by step. So let me take the first one, f. So for the first one, f, we have f of x is equal to 4 over 2x plus 1. Our first step is to make y to be equal to the function, as we know before. Then the next step is to swap your x and y, swap x for y. That will be 4 over 2y plus 1. Next step is to rearrange the formula to solve for x. Remember that this is same thing as x over 1. So I'm going to cross multiply or multiply 2 by 2x plus 1. So that will give us what? X into what? 2y plus 1 will be equal to what? 1 times 4, which is 4. So I open the bracket. This will give me what? 2xy plus x is equal to 4. I want to take that plus x to the other side. That gives us what? 4 minus x. Then make your y the subject. That gives us 4 minus x over what? 2x. At the end of the day, the inverse of the function will be 4 minus x over what? 2x. So that's how we do that for that particular function. Now, please note that we are still applying the three basic steps, which is what? Let y to be equal to the function. Then you swap the variables x and y. And lastly, you solve for y by rearranging the formula. Then for the other one, that's the J part, we have f of x is equal to x minus 7 over 2x plus 5. Same thing, we do y to be equal to the function. Then rearrange the function, I can cross multiply this one over y over 1. So this will be y multiplied by 2x plus 5. Remember, this we multiply this, and this we go and multiply this. So this will be equal to 1 times that will give us the same thing. So this is going to give us what? 2xy, opening the bracket. 5 times y will give us 5y. This will be equal to what? X minus 7. Since we have y, okay, what we're supposed to have done here, you can see there's a kind of mistake we did here. We're supposed to swap the variables. We didn't swap the variables, so we need to swap the variables before we cross multiply. So I think we are going to swap the variables first. So first thing first, we are going to swap the variables. So this will give us what? X will be equal to what? Y minus 7 over what? 2y plus 5. So please, we shouldn't forget that step. Always remember, make y equals to the function. The next thing is to swap the variables. So I have done that now. Then you cross multiply this over 1, this multiply this, and this go and multiply this. So we have x into what? 2y plus 5, that's cross multiplication, is equal to y minus 7. So you open the bracket, you have 2xy plus 5x. This should be equal to what? Y minus 7. Now the next thing you need to do is to collect like terms to solve for y. So I can bring the y that's at the left hand side, this y I can take it to this side, I carry 5x to the other side. So this is going to be 2xy minus y is equal to minus 7 minus 5x. The next thing is, since I have y's, two y's, I need to factor the y out by factorization. So y into what? 2x minus 1 will be equal to minus 7 minus 5x. And lastly, I will divide both sides by 2x minus 1. So my y will now be equal to minus 7 minus 5x over 2x minus 1. At the end of the day, the inverse function of x will be equal to minus 7 minus 5x over 2x minus 1. So this is how we do the inverse of a function. So the basic terminologies here, or the basic approach we use here is, number 1, you let y to be equal to the function. Next thing you do, you you swap the variables x and y, you swap them, that's interchange the variables, then you now decide to rearrange the formula to solve for what? Your x. So when you do that, whatever you get will now be the inverse of the function. So this is how we do inverse of certain function. There are other ones that involve square root. We're going to look at another one. That will be the last one. So, for example, they give you a function of this sort. Let's say, let us look at this one first. Let's take a question from here. Okay, let me just take a particular question here. They say that we should solve for this one. Look at what this one is saying. Okay. Now look at this particular question here. They said that I should solve, let's say if f of x is 3x plus 2, solve the equation f of x equals to the f inverse. So we want to find the inverse of x and equate it to the inverse of f and equate it to what? F. So first thing first, find the inverse. This is going to be y is equal to 3x plus 2. Then swap the variables, 3y plus 2. We arrange the formula, take plus 2 to the other side, become minus 2. That will be 3y, divide both sides by 3. X minus 2 over 3 will be equal to y. So the inverse of y now, of x, is x minus 2 over 3. Remember, the content said we should find the value of x, for which f of x is equal to the inverse of what? F. So f of x is 3x plus 2. The inverse we just calculated, which is what? X minus 2 over what? 3. So this is over 1. I can cross multiply. This will give me 3 multiplied by 3x plus 2. That will be equal to 1 into what? X minus 2. So this will give us what? 9x plus 6. That will be what? X minus 2. If you open the bracket, collect like terms, you have 9x minus x will be equal to minus 2 minus 6. So this 8x will be equal to minus 8. Divide both sides by 8, your answer will be what? Negative 1. So the value of x for which the function is equal to its own inverse is when x is equal to minus 1. You have any question to ask, or you find something you see is not correct, please, you can just help me out by pasting it in the comment section. I will be there to attend to that particular question. Okay, let's quickly run out of this and see where I talked about the identities that works with functions. Okay, now they said for the first one, they said f of x is equal to what? 2x minus 9, and they want us to find f inverse of f of 3. Now remember, I said in the beginning that if you have f of f inverse of x, your answer is equal to x. Or if you have f inverse of f of x, your answer is equal to x. Because for the first one here, the inverse is undoing what the function has done. While the second one is the function is undoing what the inverse has done. So for this particular question here, the answer is just going to be 3. The same thing for the B part, because if you look at the definition, we have x here, and we also have x here. So the answer is just x. So for the second one, where we have f of x is 2 into what? 5x minus 11. So if we are told to find f inverse of f of 2.5, there's nothing to calculate here. The answer is just what? 2.5. Also for the last one, where we have f of x is equal to what? 2x minus 9 over 3x plus 4. If I have to find f inverse of 29, I'm going to get 29 as my answer, looking basically at the identity. So that is how we do functions like this. So we are going to stop here for now, and I want you to go through this. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section, and please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.